Alright, so a couple days ago, we managed to pick up some extra storage for one of our PlayStation 5s. We managed to get a 1 terabyte M.2 SSD storage that actually maintains up to 7,300 megabytes, which, if you're wondering what that essentially means, it basically means 7.3 gigabytes of total data. Now, you're going to need to get an SSD of some sorts that at least maintains the 5.5 gigabytes of download, well, not download, I should say, but like just data that just loads up and everything like that. Like, that's the kind of SSD that you're going to need to get for your PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 Slim or even the PlayStation 5 Pro. So, we're going to show you where you can find and how you can access to change like install locations, like if you did however get extended storage for your PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 Pro. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go over to settings, and right down here where it says storage, you would click there, and then what you got is what it will say right here. And you can actually, like, right now we basically only got 40 gigs of basically data left to install stuff on, but we pretty much got 959.7 gigabytes. Now, it seems like when you get these, you actually do get the full 1 terabyte of space, because as you can see up top there, it says we got 1.1, or I should say 1.01 terabytes of storage. So, with that being said, it looks like you get the actual full space of what the item is worth. But when you go to settings, this is where it will show once you install it into your PlayStation 5 and the M.2 side or slot or whatever on the bottom of the PS5, this is what it will say. But if you also have a hard drive, for an example, that's got like PlayStation 4 games on it, then that's also where you're going to want to go. And then right down here is the way to change it of where you want the games to be installed. So, for an example, it's got PlayStation 4 games alone in apps, and then PlayStation 5 games and apps. And this is where you're going to want to, well, I should say, this is where you can choose where you want the games and apps to be installed. But for me, I honestly don't really use hard drives on the PlayStation 5 or let alone the Xbox Series X or S. I just basically use the consoles to basically play new games, or even if it is last gen games that have an enhancement. For an example, Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, we're decided to replay the PlayStation 4 version of that game because we get a trophy for basically beating the game on New Game Plus. And with with that game, I know I kind of like screwed up there, but with that game literally installed on the PlayStation 5, you are basically getting a 4K graphics that basically the PS4 Pro already had, but you're getting a much more consistent 60 frames a second. Now, I know that that's an argument that people have been making up for a while, that have been saying that there was no reason for a remaster version of that game, but we are indeed going to be playing that version sometime in the future, and it definitely does look much better than the PlayStation 4 version. But however, the PlayStation 4 version, you still get an upgrade of 60 frames a second on any PlayStation 5. It doesn't have to be a PS5 Pro or the new PlayStation 5 Slim. It could be a launch model PlayStation 5, which is basically the two models that we have. And we are still basically deciding whether to not, if we are going to get a PlayStation 5 Pro, but we also haven't really decided yet at the moment. But this is where it will tell you with your storage, it will show up right here as M.2 SSD storage, And then right down here, installation locations is where you can change to where you want your games and apps of either PlayStation 4 games or apps or PlayStation 5 games or apps, and you can switch to where you would want them. So right now, I am very, very blessed, and I'm very pleased that we finally got at least for one of our PlayStation 5s, and we will get another one for our other PlayStation 5 sometime within the next month or two, maybe even possibly by Christmas. But for now, we finally got one for one of our PlayStation 5s, and now it's definitely not going to be as much as a hassle to continue to delete and download games, updates, and then, and something for an example, like, your hard drive, or I should say internal storage being almost full, and you got a game like a Call of Duty update, and then it says, oh, you don't have space, you got to delete something. It has been a nightmare for like the last 6 months with our PlayStation 5 consoles. Like, it has been a nightmare. But even though the 1 terabyte does not hold a whole lot of storage, we are definitely able to eliminate the amount of times that we constantly delete and reinstall games. And now, honestly, with 1 terabyte of storage, with the amount of games that we play, especially when it comes to single player, and then some games we'll delete after we won't play them for a while, honestly, it's definitely a hassle relief that we don't have to worry about as much as deleting and reinstalling games, except maybe like 1 to 2 or 3 every once in a blue moon. So I'm actually very, very excited, and I'm glad that we were able to pick up a 1 terabyte extended storage for the PlayStation 5, or at least for one of our PlayStation 5s. But just figured I'd let you guys know and also show you how to get there. And this is where it would be under storage, and it'll show M.2 SSD storage, and then installation location is where you can pick as to which one of these three, if you have even a hard drive plugged in just to play like PlayStation 4 games, for an example. This is definitely where you will pick on where you want those games to be installed. So with that being said, this is where you can choose the location as to where you want your games installed, and to see if the M.2 SSD storage that you did put in your PS5 got added to basically more storage, and it'll pop up right here saying M.2 SSD storage. So just figure I would make this quick video for you guys. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video of us showing you where to change your location as to if you did get more SSD storage, or if you're using a hard drive for like PlayStation 4 games. Let us know in the comment section down below if this helped you out, and also if you are also glad, for those of you that are loyal to the channel, that we finally was able to get more storage to finally help with the deleting, updating, and non-stop changing and all that stuff with games on our PlayStation 5. So yeah, just let us know in the comment section down below of what you think and if this helped you guys out. But with that being said, this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we shall see you on the next one. Peace.